Hey there guys, what's going on? Today we've got another video in our best guns in Modern Warfare series, and I think this is a big one today. Is the P90 not good enough for you? Do you feel like the MP7 shoots pebbles instead of bullets? Well, you already know that the MP5 is the best SMG in this game, but I recently put this loadout together and man, I have been absolutely stomping with it. Like, I've actually found recently that the MP5 has a little bit more recoil than I probably noticed in the past, but with this attachment setup, you won't have to worry about whether you're going to kill the enemy or not. You'll be worrying about how many you're going to kill, how close to the chopper gunner you are. I'm serious, like this gun is a monster with these attachments, but before we do get into the loadout here, let's try and get this video to, let's say, 6 likes. You guys have been absolutely amazing recently. Like, I don't actually think we've missed out on a like target yet. Like, I'm pretty sure you've hit pretty much all of them that I've put out there. 5, 6, 4, 7, you know, it's been good. You guys have been fantastic. So make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you're new around here. We are gaining subs like no tomorrow, so turn on those notifications so you do not miss another one of my videos. Let's talk MP5. So basically the MP5 is like the GOAT SMG, like greatest of all time SMG. The MP7 does compete with it a little bit in this game, but the MP5 is, in my opinion, the real deal. The top dog. If you've ever complained about the MP7 taking a few too many bullets to kill, like, you're probably going to be in luck here. The MP5 is a 3-4 shot kill at close to medium ranges. It does struggle a little bit at long ranges, but that's because it's a submachine gun. Like, you can't expecting it to be doing an assault rifle's job when you're like 70 meters away from someone. You can't really always expect to kill everybody in this game. It does shred people at those close to medium ranges though. You'll probably see in the kill feeds like 4 to 5, even 6 people using the MP5 in pretty much every game that you're going to play, but they're all using an inferior attachment setup. This is the one you want to go with, so these are the best MP5 attachments that will turn you into an absolute monster. Let's talk about it. Okay, so we're going to start off with my sidearm, perks, and grenade choices. They're the same on pretty much all of my classes, so we'll go over it very quickly here. My sidearm of choice is the 357 Snake Shot because it's like the only choice that you can make that is actually decent. Like, what else are you going to do? Perk 1, EOD of course. Perk 2, Kill Chain or Ghost. Ghost is pretty good, but I'm a big fan of Kill Chain. I like Kill Chain to get those longer streaks going. It's pretty cool. And Perk 3, Battle Harden, just for the flashes and stuns, man. Like, I need this. I cannot stand fighting people who use like flashes and stuns in this game. So any help that I can get against those guys, so good. And lastly, the grenade setups are mostly personal choice. Like, I'm a thermite guy, but you might enjoy Semtexes. I used to like Semtexes an awful lot. C4 is also very good in this game. You chuck it over a wall, get a couple of kills, move on. It's pretty good. You got choices in this game with the lethals, and of course the tactical stim. Or if you're really sweaty and you're a really massive scumbag, flash, stun, stim. Those are your only choices there. None of the other ones are super great. Like, those 3 are the ones you want to go with, basically. Okay, so the first attachment here in the muzzle slot is the compensator that we've gone with. The compensator is an attachment that I've been using a little bit more recently, specific on guns that have a little bit of kick. I'm not really sure what it is, but I feel like the MP5 got more recoil somewhere along the line. Like, am I the only one who thinks this? Like, I feel like it used to be pretty manageable, and then it just started bouncing around more for me. Maybe it was because I took a little while away from the game, like a week off on holidays, maybe forget that the MP5 actually does have a little bit of recoil, but it might just be my imagination, who's to say. But with the compensator, that is going to minimize that as much as possible. It's going to help keep you on target, limit that recoil. You want as many shots on target as possible. Obviously, that's very obvious. So I am also a fan of the monolithic suppressor as well for the sound suppression and damage range. Like, if you do think I'm going a little bit overboard with the recoil control with some of these other attachments, like, there are options here that you can sort of make the gun a little bit stronger at range, but a little bit worse recoil. So you're going to have choices with this class setup. But yeah, man, like the monolithic suppressor, so good in this game. Damage range, sound suppression, awesome attachments. So muzzle slot, you can either choose between the compensator or the monolithic suppressor. So in the barrel slot, I've actually not chosen anything. Like, I feel like each one of these is good in its own way, but also, like, lets the gun down in a different way. So, like, yeah, I feel like you actually don't get a huge amount of bonuses from anything in the barrel slot without having a pretty big drawback in some way. Like, most of these make your gun a little bit better, as I said, but also worse in a different way. So, like, the FFS light barrel, you get the aim down sight speed, which we get from other attachments, so you don't really need that one, but you lose a little bit of bullet velocity. Not ideal. The monolithic integral suppressor was one I was using previously. Like, sound suppression and bullet velocity is fine. ADS speed, not so great. It doesn't give you any recoil bonuses either, so that's not ideal. The FSS mini barrel is the aim down sight speed movement option, but you lose bullet velocity and recoil control. Don't really want that either. It's just just one of those things. It's not ideal either. And the subsonic integral suppressor, it's kind of interesting. So if you're playing like S&D and something like that, you don't want people to know where you are. That can kind of be useful. Sound suppression, no visible traces, aim down sight speed, and no enemy skulls. Like, that's pretty good, but you do lose the muzzle slot. So it's sort of hard to choose between some of the barrels in this game because they don't let you use anything else. So the integral ones take away your ability to use a muzzle. So I'm going to go with nothing in this slot, but you can sort of get away with maybe using the mini sometimes. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of anything in the barrel slot here. It's a little bit weird that we don't have anything in the barrel slot, but that's the way it is. Like usual, in the laser slot, I'd recommend that you go with the tack laser. Big bonuses there to be had: aim down sight speed, aiming stability, aim walk steadiness, and only a visible laser to worry about. But I've not picked it in this case. As you can see here, the laser slot is empty in this class. Like, I would say that it'd probably be like my 6th attachment if I could choose a 6th one. Like, I do love the tack laser, but I just can't really fit it in here. Like, you get huge bonuses from it, and I'd love to pick it, but I don't think we have room. The optics slot in this game is always personal preference. If the iron sight on the weapon is clean, it's up to you. Like, you can usually get away with running nothing if the iron sight on the weapon is good, which in the case of the MP5, it's very good. Clean and unobstructive. But if you do, for some reason, hate the iron sight on the MP5, I recommend that you run the GI Mini Reflex or the Cronin LP945 Mini Reflex, which is GI Mini Reflex and the Cronin LP945. These are my 2 favorite sights in this game. Like, they're the ones that I like. You can get the most bonuses out of them. Nice clean sight lines, unobstructive. You don't get blocked on the peripheral by the frames or anything like that. Both good for picking targets off. But I've not gone with it here because I actually do really like the iron sights on the MP5, but of course this is up to you. So in the stock slot, I'm a big fan of the FSS. Man, some of these names are just, even though no matter how many times I say them, they're just always tough to say, big tongue twisters. I'm a big fan of the FSS close quarters stock for the increased aim down sight speed, with only a small reduction in aiming stability, which is a good bonus for a very little downside. You can also run the FTAC collapsible option, as it does give you that aim down sight speed. It also gives you a boost to your movement speed. I'm not a huge fan of this personally, but you can do it. Like, it's one of those things that you can choose between on the MP5, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I'm sticking with the close quarter stock, but you can definitely use the FTAC collapsible. It's definitely a very, very good attachment that is very, very usable. And I've used it before, and I've not had too many problems with it. But yeah, you can sort of pick and choose what you like here. You can set up one that's very, very rushy with a bunch of different attachments than what I've got here, but it's up to you. As usual, we've got nothing in the perks slot, but if we were to put something here, of course, it'd always be sleight of hand. This is pretty standard for the perks. Like, nothing is really super great here. Fully loaded's kind of okay, but yeah, sleight of hand is the one you're after. But typically, we don't really need that. Like, if you're going with anything, sleight of hand's your option, but we're not going with anything, so you don't have to worry about it. The rear grip usually goes to the stipple grip tape, and that is an option that we're going to talk about, but we're getting aim down sight increases from other places, so I've opted for a little bit of a slower option in this particular one that I'm showing you here. The rubberized grip tape does give us that recoil control at the cost of aiming stability, a small price to pay for a decent increase to your recoil control. I might be going a little bit overboard with the recoil control attachments, so you're more than welcome to use the stipple grip tape, like the usual bonuses you get out of this: aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed. Fantastic for an SMG, so the choice is again up to you. This does combine really well with the last attachment that I'm going to talk about, so if you do go with one of the last attachments that I'm going to talk about, you can always use the stipple grip tape, but again, this is up to you. I mean, like, even the granulated grip tape is still pretty good. It's still got a place in this game. So if you're looking to play a little bit slower, rubberized or granulated, but if you're looking to go a little bit faster, stippled. You've got choice in this game, so you can choose what's best for you and the way you play. And in my case, I'm either going for the rubberized or the stippled grip tape. Of course, you will want and need the 10mm auto 30 round magazines. This is the GOAT attachment for the MP5. As I said, the GOAT MP5 is the best SMG. And the GOAT attachment for the MP5 is the 10mm ammo. Like, #1 attachment. Like, damage and range increased, so good. For a slight hit to your fire rate and aiming recoil control. Pretty standard stuff, honestly. Like, this is the one you want. Like, the person who first used this must have been like, they thought across like some kind of gold mine. They stumbled across a gold mine, man. Like, this is the best attachment for this gun. Like, you start now using it and you're like, the MP5's kind of good, not so great. Like, it's pretty good. And then you slap on the 10mm ammo and you just wreck kids. It's so good. You gotta have this. Like, the MP5 hits it's like a wet noodle, basically, without the 10mm mags. But with it, it hits like some super strong spaghetti. That's a weird analogy to go with, but let's rock with it. Use the 10mm rounds and you will not regret your choice. Lastly, the underbarrel slot goes to, in my opinion, the Merc foregrip. If you're going for like maximum recoil control, the Merc foregrip will do a pretty good job for you. Like recoil control and hipfire accuracy as a nice little kicker. You only lose a little bit of aim movement speed and aim down sight speed, so if you are concerned about not being able to aim down sight quickly enough, you can of course take the stipple grip tape in the rear grip slot. Like I said, there was always something that's going to come up, so if you're worried about the aim down sight speed, use the stipple grip tape instead of like your rubberized or your granulated. This is your option here. Like the Merc 4 helps keep you on target, but if you get taken by surprise, the improved hipfire accuracy will actually save your life more than you probably expect it to. There is an argument to be made for the Commando foregrip as usual, recoil stabilization and aiming stability at the cost of a little bit of movement speed. Like I've always been a big fan of the Commando foregrip from the start of the game. Like it's always there. It's like one of the first attachments that you unlock for pretty much every gun. It's just standing there, steady, waiting for you. It's like just like an old blanket. It's just always going to be there for you. Just so good. It doesn't take away too much, and you get good returns from it. Basically, it is a little bit of a choice between the two, but I'm going with the Merc foregrip. Super strong here. So yeah, with all the choices that you've got in this game, I feel like this is probably the best setup that we're going to find. I think with the sort of combination of the right attachments here, this is sort of the best we're going to get. So if looking at the monolithic suppressor for the muzzle, the stock is the F-Tac collapsible. Of course, you can always go with the close quarter stock if you're sort of looking to reduce that recoil. Again, if you're looking to reduce the recoil, compensator is also a good option, as I said throughout the video. The Merc foregrip, sort of your best choice here for that recoil control, 10mm of course, and the stipple grip tape. Rubberized does again do the same job as well, like get you better recoil control, but I feel like the stipple grip tape gives you the stats that you need. So this is our completed loadout here. This is the best one you're going to get out of the ones that are available. Like you can also choose mix and match here. You can choose whatever you like, but this is sort of the one I've used in the gameplay in the background. So this is what we're going with. Anyway guys, if this did help you out at all, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe if you are new around here. There's a little bit of noise going on in the background, so hopefully that doesn't come through too hard. But yeah, like I said, I'd very much appreciate it if you did like and subscribe this one. It'd very much help me out. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!